Good morning, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Gillian Richardson from ETAG, and great to have you with us today. Usually we would be doing these business briefings in a room together where we'd be sharing a bacon roll and a coffee, but obviously that can't happen today, but thanks for joining us nonetheless. Just a couple of kind of housekeeping points before I hand over to Grant. We are recording the session, so just so that you're aware of that. And the recording will be made available through the ETAG website for those that haven't been able to join today. Likewise, the slides you're going to see today will also be available through the ETAG website, so there's no need to scribble frantically as we go through this. I guess our interest in what you're going to hear about today is really in the kind of broader context of the tourism recovery plan and the Forever Edinburgh platform that, as you know, was launched a couple of weeks ago. For us, one of the kind of key points is making sure that visitors have the confidence to come back into and enjoy being in the city centre, and giving them, therefore, the most information, accurate, relevant information, and kind of real-time information is really important as part of that. So in that context, we were very interested to hear more about the new platform that Grant and his team have developed called the Locale. I won't even try to explain it to you because Grant will do a much better job than me. But he was going to run through that presentation. If you want to ask questions, then please use the question and answer function, which you should see on your screen. Once the presentation's finished, we'll try and get through as many of them as possible. And I'm sure we'll have enough time to do that today, but if not, as I say, there will be follow-up information available on the ETAG website. So for now, I'm going to shut my mouth and hand over to Grant Thompson from the Locale, who's going to run you through his presentation.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much, Gillian, for allowing us to come and have a little chat about the Locale. And good morning. Yeah, it would have been lovely having a bacon sandwich and a cup of coffee, especially if the weather is as it is at the moment. But what I wanted to do was quickly just run you through a video on what we are doing, which is it's generally the front-facing side of it, and then we can talk through the back-facing side. But I'll press play and then I'll let you have a look. Right, so just quickly running through into what we're looking to do with the Locale itself. So I just want to run you through a short presentation on what we are doing. A little bit about my background. So I started developing an augmented reality app 3 years ago, and that was specifically around driving for and increasing dwell time in the hospitality industry and across the high street. What we found is that through tech development, it is quite expensive. So what I found is that we sort of took that on through investment, and as we were moving forward, COVID sort of hit. So what we realized is that we have an opportunity here to actually start communicating things that would be really specific for the customer care side. So we were very much about showing people in real time where is open. We found a huge sort of situation with the fact that a lot of people didn't know where the local venues were open. So as you can see from the green, you can see where it's open. Amber shows you where they've got people in, and red highlights the opportunity where they're filling up and there might be a queue. So that links us into an average queue time. So we have a queue management tool as well. The biggest and most important thing about everything that we're trying to do is to give that confidence back to the consumer. So give the confidence back to the public that they know a lot of things that are in place in terms of how a high street or how a town or a city are sort of dealing with the idea of a COVID safe environment. So we can put on things that are COVID specific. So if you have a one-way system in place, you have booking and ordering system, you have the idea that there's hand sanitizers on the way in, that the screen's in place. This all gives the general public huge confidence that they want to walk into that venue and find themselves actually sort of adhering themselves to that venue and spending more money in that venue. As you can see, even from this pick here from the venue profile, it also gives you an opportunity to put your best foot forward. So visuals on the venue, it highlights key specific things around what you're known for. So if you're known for great for groups from a hospitality point of view, or if you're known for extremely positive currency rate, if you're a money exchange place, we're starting to work with a lot of banks in terms of the bank situation at the moment is something that's a little bit different. It's all about the queue time outside, so we can actually educate people on the queue time. And as you can see on the left-hand side, the idea is from a filter, so from a user's point of view, you can actually become more key specific about your own personal preferences. So what you're looking for from that, not even so much of an experience, but that trip into town. If you're looking for something, let's say a coffee shop, and you were looking for vegan Pacific or Sunday lunch, or it can be Pacific around that. So you are taken directly to that venue. This brings us on to the idea of why as a venue do you want to actually use this system. One, it's completely free. What we're doing is we're allowing you to have a digital monitoring and communicating your capacity in real time. What does real time actually mean? So we use a digital clicker within that venue or that business that allows people to communicate how many people are in that venue at any time. So are you open, filling up, and getting busy? Also allows you, as we said before, to highlight the queue time length. So it gives people real understanding and education on what is happening in that venue. On the specific research that we've done, a lot of people are quite happy to stand in a queue based that they know how long they're going to be standing in that queue. On the other side, if you see a queue, you're generally turned off in terms of that queue, unless it's a very, very popular venue. We also, at this point in time, without really knowing what the new norm is, we're promoting safety and communicating COVID procedures. So we're very aware that people want to feel safe. And by promoting that safety and the communicating side of what COVID safe actually means, we're giving people the confidence, as I've said before, to be able to walk through the door. Within that COVID environment, people want outside space. So we're also communicating what you're known for. So if you're known for specific services, you've got a really strong outside space. You've got key characteristics that you want to shout about because you feel that that would drive traffic back into your venue. That is what we have on our promotional opportunities. And then realistically, as we're moving forward, you're actually being able to be found by people that are really looking for you. So if they don't know the area, or even if they do know the area, but they don't know in what capacity you're open, we can communicate to them by them searching through and finding key specifics about their own personal preferences. From a user's point of view, you can see the capacity. You can make safe and informed decisions. Through the search filters, you can find your perfect experience, be that morning, noon, or night. So be that across not only hospitality, but also day and nighttime, daytime economy, culture, we have the ability to interlink both culture and hospitality, but also at the service point of view. From my own personal experience with having a 5 and an 8-year-old, no matter how many times I tell them they must go to the loo before they leave the house, as soon as we get out, within 5-10 minutes of any journey or 5-10 minutes of being in any location, they need the toilet and want to know where the toilets are. Obviously, at the moment, with sort of the COVID restrictions in place, toilets aren't open. So finding out somewhere with key services that are available is key to you having a really positive experience, whether that be going to the local shops or actually sort of entertaining something more of an experience. The idea as well is that over a period of time, businesses have become really entrepreneurial. They've changed their services. They're offering different things. So what you've seen from a sort of hospitality and a tourism point of view, people have brought in different services such as deliveries, takeaways, dine-in options, and also the ability to be able to book, order, and pay through one application. And we're making things as safe as we possibly can. So a lot of people have changed their service deliveries, and they want to tell people about that. Again, to make customers and that customer care point feel totally safe and to drive the traffic back into those areas. This is not just so much about COVID procedures. This is not so much about where we are now. The key to this development process is that what we're doing is we're using technology to try and drive back the traffic. So increasing the footfall and definitely lifting the dwell time. And we do this by actually bringing in more tech as we progress. So it's not just about getting through this COVID time and the pandemic that we're in. We also want to evolve as we come out of it. So we're giving people the opportunity to create routes through cities that for key Pacific experiences. So as we were talking about before, we can interlink services, culture, and hospitality to make sure that people have a full and valued experience. We're also looking to introduce booking, ordering, and payment facilities, but we're doing that through an open banking source. So what that means is that very quickly sort of reduces the rates on card expenditure. There's a lot of benefits to open banking at the moment. We're also integrating augmented reality. So what is this? The best way to describe this, if you're not sure, is in the past we're being called the Pokemon Go of hospitality, because what we do is we drop, in a sense, as you can see from this visual on the right, we can drop digital gifts into a location, so into any space, which allow people to highlight different opportunities. So if you could be in a venue for 40 minutes, we could drop a gift in there to make you in there for another 40 minutes. So that would be an incentive gift. It also, in the back of that, it has a redemption model. So we know how many people took this, how many people shared it, pardon me, or how many people actually took advantage of it at that, pardon me, at that time. And then obviously the big thing for us is the track and trace model. So what we're doing is by using a barcode system, we allow the track and trace model to become really easy integrated in all businesses and allow people to sort of get that key information on who was in the venue and for how long they were in the venue. This at all points allows us to realistically take real-time social and behavioral data. There is a key characteristic at the moment that 33% of 18 to 25-year-olds turn off location tracking. So we don't use location tracking. What we do is we use the engagement qualities within each venue. So be that a bank, a coffee shop, or a restaurant, we take in how long they were in that venue and then where they went next. For us, though, this allows us to have a fundamental base of data that allows you to understand your customer base to another extent. It allows you to pre-plan and actually understand. You can bring this into sort of social strategy. So you will know how many people have been in the venue at key points, and then you can have that over weeks, months, and actually allows you to start to have predictable figures moving forward. Why is this important? This allows you, even from a basic session of staffing rotas, to sort of see when things are busy, what days things are busy. You might go, well, I know that already, but in the time that we're in at the moment, some venues, they're literally dealing with the things that are right in front of them. So they have no way of collecting this factual statistics to actually allow themselves to move forward. On the spin of that, by actually increasing and delivering things like augmented reality and route building, we allow this to be dropped into a tourist situation. And then this actually leads us to have predictable routes being created moving forward, and also allow us to learn from different venues offering different gifts to see how positive they were, how much it had been redeemed. And then moving forward, it is all about planning. So it's all about making sure that whenever anyone comes into your city, that they have as much information as they possibly can. The key to this is that we're developing a personal concierge service. So as someone starts using this app, we start learning more and more about what they're doing on a day-to-day basis in terms of what they're engaging in through that hospitality and high street. And then also from that, the app actually learns from it. So as you go from Edinburgh to Glasgow, or Edinburgh to Aberdeen, or Newcastle, or Manchester, we'll be able to push forward opportunities and push forward deals, promotions, and information based on your behavior and social characteristics that they've used the app for before. So what did this do for you guys as well? So as people come to Edinburgh and they've been using it across across other parts of the UK and Ireland, they will be then highlighting information based on their key preferences that they put in through their filter system. But overall, what we're doing is we're just really trying to get people to fully believe back in the high street. So giving them huge amounts of confidence to walk through the door. There is lots of venues and businesses that have ordering, booking, and payment facilities in place. They've brought in different things to make sure that when someone's in that venue, they're being supported. And we're fully aware of that. And what we're doing, though, is we're driving them to that door. We're giving them the opportunity to pick that venue based on information that they're reading through the app. And then as they do that, we will know how long they've been in that venue to be able to move things forward and actually help you grow, not only through the COVID pandemic, but actually right out the other side and start developing key strategies towards moving forward. Because as we go forward, things like augmented reality and route building through influencer models and the opportunity to promote this through social media and through marketing, this will give people opportunities to have different experiences. So you could highlight alternative experiences to different markets, but you could be included in that across the whole plethora of the city. And that is pretty much it from me. I'd love now to be able to take some questions. But before we do that, it's a very simple process on what we've done to actually get people involved in this. As I said before, it is completely free. And what we've done is we've integrated a lot of Google business information. So the process and the sign-up process literally takes 3 to 4 minutes to get involved. As we move forward, the whole idea is that this is a digital platform that allows you to promote your business in the fullest and actually allow you to do that based on what you're known for. So as you see from here, the key Pacific known for us, we've pulled in the tags from Google Business, but as we develop, we're going to be using user-generated content to drive that search option within the app. So if you're known for, let's say, amazing Sunday lunches, or you're known for fantastic customer service or baby changing facilities within your venue, because that's being talked about on social, we use a social mention tool, and it allows us to actually use those as key search tags moving forward. It means you get found quicker and you get found by more specific people. You've got to understand that this whole platform is about promoting what is good about your business. It's not about us promoting what your business is, because we will know to an extent through reading things, but actually it's about you being able to promote the very best in what you're doing. And coupled with the fact that we're trying to create opportunities to move people into the future, we feel as if we've got a really strong model. So as we say, as I said before, the idea is that we want you to click onto venue.locale.information, fill in your details, and then become part of what we're doing moving forward. I'll pretty much stop sharing there. And if there is any questions, please fire them ahead. How was that, Gillian? Was that okay?
Yep, that's great, Grant. Thanks. I think that's a really good run through of the opportunity, and obviously really clear in terms of how people sign up, which seems to be quite an easy and quick process. I guess one question that can't see anything coming through the question box, but one I had was, how easy is it for a venue to change and update their proposition within the platform?
The great thing about it is that the venue side of the platform is all on a web platform, so they can just log in with an easy email and password and change their details on a mobile or anything. So they could do it within minutes, and then it would go live. One of the things is about capacity. So I know that people will be saying, why would I want to tell people that I've got a big queue outside? Because it's going to drive traffic to other places. Well, what we found is that if people understand that there is a queue, they will maybe go somewhere else, but they'll always be looking at when the queue is going down. And then obviously through the booking and ordering facility, we can actually book that space in there. So what you're doing is you're just not having people standing outside, maybe, especially at the moment with this weather. You don't want people standing outside the rain. They'll go somewhere else, but they always have that idea that they want to go to your venue, and we can use the booking facility to allow them to book straight into that. And then when we've spoke to people about this, it's just, in a sense, creating a platform that would do what you want it to do. You wouldn't want to be standing in that queue. You wouldn't want to be standing in the rain for 45 minutes, but you're also, if that was your business, you wouldn't want to turn business away. So what we've done is, by actually putting in that management tool of that queuing management system, people can book in for key specific times, but they can also go and try something else, because this is going to happen in other businesses as well, in terms of they will have a queue, you won't, and they'll come to you. And I think that's the sort of key, that collectively as a community, we actually keep people there. We don't want them going anywhere else. We keep people on the high street. We keep people in that mix and make sure that that's moving forward. So that's one of the key challenges.
Okay, another one from me, because I think everyone's being extremely quiet this morning, which is unlike them. So obviously today is about getting venues and businesses in Edinburgh to understand and kind of sign up to take part. But on the flip side, what are you guys doing to get users on board and to raise?
That's great that you say that. So we within our team, we've got some key sort of people for paid advertising. So we've got social media campaigns, Google PPC campaigns. But what we're doing is we're doing this hyper locally. It's not about promoting an app that is for the whole of Scotland. That will come with time. But if we try and put an advertising budget, we're all business owners. So if we try and put an advertising budget into strengthening the brand relationship and getting people to sign up to an app across Scotland, the budget will diminish incredibly quickly, and it'll have very little effect. So what we're doing is we're doing hyper-local engagement for Edinburgh. So we're hitting key demographics in Edinburgh, professional students, tourism and locals, and we're hitting them through a hyper-local engagement campaign. On top of that, we're creating brand ambassadors through the university and through large employing sectors, so the larger businesses. So they'll be talking to people within their businesses and within their universities and around social clubs, and sort of engaging them as we go. Because realistically, there is a thing about 6 months ago, we were looking for the most popular place. So we all wanted to go to the busiest place and have the best time. And realistically now, we want to go to the quietest place or somewhere that's quite quiet. but we still want to have an experience. So the idea that we'll communicate these sort of gems across social media, across the app internally through invitations, route building, and all of this allows the sort of that whole, in a sense, early adoption of people within Edinburgh. I'm so pleased as well that the camera wasn't on when I was doing that share, because my little daughter ran in and just started going absolutely mental. So it was really good, but it always reminds me of that BBC video. Anyway, it's going off piece, sorry. So yeah, we're doing hyperlocal engagement in the city, and then as we move from city to city, again, we're doing hyperlocal engagement. We only initially want people that are in that city using the app. So then we can start gaining the data and then start cross-pollinating across different regions across Scotland and the UK.
Okay, there's one question come in on the chat box from Susan Russell. Hi, Susan. So Susan's saying, Grant, that the majority of users in your CMS who have created public projects haven't updated them in 2+ years. Do you have any current examples of projects you could share? I don't know if you can see this, if that makes sense to you.
I don't really understand what she's meaning. So does she mean that people don't update their data?
No, Susan, could you maybe use the chat function or update your question possibly?
So if that's a situation.
Sorry, here we go.
So in terms of the information that people put onto the system, it's all out of date. Is that because they're so busy? If that's the situation, what we've done is we've engaged a task force within the business itself that they'll communicate with. The reporting system is really important. So how many people that have actually engaged in the app. And for you as a business, that is really important that you know this. So how many people have walked in the venue, how long they've stayed in there, all this type of information. And then what we do as well is if people haven't updated the business side of, so that in a sense, the database side of the app, we will communicate with them directly and ask them, is there anything they want to change? We do this on a 3-week spiral. So in a sense, we will communicate with people over every 3 weeks to say if they want to change things, because we're also aware that we're actually asking people to take on technology, and some people just don't want to take on technology, but they know the benefit because they're just too busy. And one of the best examples is that we deal with a really good coffee shop down south, and they've got real strong ambitions to grow. So they've got real strong ambitions to grow. And what we really want to do is we want to work with them as an example, but they're also not incredibly tech savvy. So we're talking to them about integration of booking, ordering, and payment facilities. But we're also saying, look, we will help you get through this stage and you can actually see the benefits. I think the biggest thing, Susan, is until you actually see the benefits of the app, you'll not engage in it. So it's a really important part of us growing is that we make sure that the businesses fully understand the benefits that we're trying to give to them or that we are giving to them. Is that okay, Susan? Sorry. Because it was a cool question.
Okay, I think we'll move on because we're getting another question in now. So this is from Ruth. As a blue badge guide, I do not have a locale as such, but would like to advertise that I am here. She's got good to go status and would like to offer her services as a guide for walks in various parts of the city centre and within easy reach of the city centre. She's saying, I'm not sure if this app is for me or how would I use it apart from being on it? That's a good question.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so what we would do is we would register, I'm going to pull that up again just to make sure that I know what I'm talking about. So we would register Ruth as a business. So she would register as a business. And if she's got Google Business, she would pull through all the information from Google Business. On that, there would be a starting point of the route. And then within that business, she will have a booking facility so people can actually book directly online with her. And then they would have a meeting point. So that's all about an experience. So that is something that we would communicate, not only in sort of real-time live, that there's a guide system going on, but also we'll talk about directly across all the newsletters and information going out on social media, saying that this is an enhancement of your experience, because we think it's really, really important. Because obviously what we're doing is we're creating routes directly as well, but sometimes people want that personal contact along that route. So they want to be able to talk to someone and engage in that person's historical content or just general experience. And that is really, really important to us. So we would, going back and summarizing, you would register the business on there, so you have the opportunity to promote. We would also pinpoint the starting point, allowing you to have that booking facility, which would show people when to meet and when to get on that route through the ordering facility. But also it'll be highlighted on there just for general people's view. So when you're scanning around, you can actually see that there is something there. So there is that business there. I hope that helps, Ruth. If not, please fire back.
I think Ruth has already responded, actually, as you were talking there, Grant, that she actually starts her tours, and I know many of the guides do, they start their tours in various places. There isn't just one starting point. So
the idea was that as she would just communicate directly with people that are interested in what's going on. So the idea that we can have cross communication across the platform is key as well. So if people show interest in there, she'll be able to communicate directly to them. Initially, we would have to talk to Ruth about the key places that she starts, because if there was 100 places, that might not be feasible. But if there's 5, that is very feasible, because if you think about it, chains across the city, they have 5 locations that they're working in, you know what I mean, as similar as Ruth has starting points. But hers would be really good because it's actually about real-time engagement. So if Ruth's just picking up people pre-book and ad hoc, by us putting something in real time and pinpointing locations, it allows people to engage in that as they're walking past, which might be a real positive business experience for her. So in a sense that even if she's not there with a big banner holding it up, virtually she's there with a big banner holding it up, if that makes sense. I hope that helps, Ruth. That is a really good case example, and we'd be really pleased to try and work with Ruth on making sure that that's a positive experience.
Yeah, thanks, Grant. Let's come back to say thanks, and I guess, Ruth, you're more than welcome to follow up with Grant directly. We'll just maybe at the end do a reminder of the contact details, Grant, if that's okay.
Yeah.
But just another quick question. Obviously, this is more based for businesses with a venue or a physical space, but what happens if you don't have front of house staff to do that kind of digital clicker piece?
Yeah, initially it is a digital clicker, but within the next 3 to 4 weeks, that will be completely automated. We're using geofield opportunities to allow people to automatically sort of click in and click out of a venue. So we understand that from working with that coffee shop, as I spoke about before, that letting people in is easy, because sometimes there is a front of house or there's a cashier to let people in. But realistically, letting people out, you're too busy dealing with the day-to-day that you won't be able to do that. So what we're doing is we're very quickly, it's in one of the initial sprints, that we're automizing this, and it also takes work away from the venues. So actually, even though this is a free service, there is a little bit of work in terms of the digital clicker, but actually within a very short period of time, there'll be no work in that. So the only thing that we ask a venue to do is to actually tell us the very best that venue are doing. So services, opportunities, positive experiences. And this actually drops back into the review. So I know a lot of people are slightly frustrated with TripAdvisor and what TripAdvisor have, good or bad, you love it or hate it. But actually, we're only taking reviews from people that we know have actually engaged in the venue, so that have spent time in that venue. You cannot write a review if you have not been in that venue. You can't just suddenly turn around and go, oh, I know the local deli. But you actually will know where, if you've been in that local deli and how long you were in that local deli for, and we can't do that. The reason why we're also, sorry, just to jump, because it's just reminded me of something. The reason why we actually brought in the digital clicker from an actual standpoint of digitally clicking people through is you will be aware if you have a queue and you need to sort of tell us what your queue length is initially. And that allows us to start taking focus and learning from how long queues are in terms of people standing outside. So we're learning process, and we're agile enough to be able to learn from that process. But also, initially when people are clicking people in and out, you're fully aware that you have the sort of participation from people coming in and out. Going back to that idea that location tracking is turned off on a large majority of 18 to 25-year-olds, this allows us to get a real strong engagement quality going forward. But also, again, as we're saying with the review system, we'll know that you've been in there. That is the key. You don't want to, no one wants a review from someone that's never been in your venue, because for positive or negative experiences, they might be slanderous.
No, absolutely. Okay, I think just before we wrap up, Grant, can you just remind everybody of the contact details? So if anybody does have specific questions about their own kind of situation and how this might apply, then they can have that direct chat with you.
Yeah, so this is where you sign up. So venue.thelocale.info. So you go in there and you sign up. If you have any questions at all, please just email me at grant@thelocale.info. That's GRANT at the locale, so that's LOCALE.info. And to be fair, it's been really nice talking to everyone. I really appreciate you taking this time out to listen towards what we're doing. We are an ever-evolving platform that actually, realistically, we want to really strengthen the driving of footfall and the increasing of the dwell time in all of the venues across the city. And we can work with ones that are busy and that are not busy in terms of hidden gems, opportunities for content growth as we go forward. But the biggest thing is that it's a free service. It's a chance to be proactive and positive about your promotional opportunities and what your services you're providing. And the crazy thing is that one of the biggest businesses that we've sort of seen getting involved is things like hairdressers. Because they have a booking facility already in place, but loads of people walk up to see if they can get in. So it's just actually communicating things with people and giving them that real confidence that from a venue's point of view, they can walk through the door, or they know what they need to put in place to be able to walk through the door.
That's great, thanks. And I see Kim's shared some of those links in the chat box for anyone to pick up from there. Well, I think we'll wrap it there if that's okay. My thanks also to everyone joining. As I said at the beginning, we'll be putting the slides up on the ETAG website and also the video of today for anyone that wasn't able to join. And if you've got any other questions, then you've got Grant's details, so feel free to get in touch directly.
Yeah, thank you very much again.
Okay, thanks all. Bye.